Hey, y'all. Welcome. Happy Monday morning to you. Thank you so much for tuning in to Andrea Speaks TV. I'm your host, Andrea, here to bring you news and commentary you can use. So, before I begin, I want to say thank you all so much for continuing to support the channel, whether you're watching the videos, commenting on the videos, liking the videos. I appreciate the support of all of you so much. If you by chance came upon my video and you haven't subscribed to the channel, I would like to take a moment to invite you to subscribe and join our community here so you can stay updated, informed, and connected whenever I do upload new content every single week. So, y'all, a lot has been, we've been talking quite a while now on the channel about the fact that there's so much going on in the world, from food in the world and right here in our own country, right? Maybe right in your own state or in your local, your city, your local area. We've talked about food shortages, water shortages, the supply chain crisis, the rail strike. Is there going to be a rail strike? Like, what's really going on with that, right? We've talked about many different topics, water shortages. I don't know if I've talked about that here on the channel. I've talked about the need for all of us to be prepared to sustain, survive the times that we're living in, the current times we're living in, as well as, what, based on reports and research, what is predicted to come in the future. I can't say exactly, hey, this is 100% going to happen, but just based on the trends and, looking at in some ways a repeat of history, we know that, right now, the track that it seems like our country is on is very concerning. Inflation is still at, pretty much an all-time high, I believe. We're, no matter what income level we're on, no matter what tax bracket we're in, I believe that we all can agree that we're seeing higher prices on a lot of different items, okay, on goods, services, all across the board. We're seeing higher prices and we're paying higher prices too, okay? You all, thank you so much again for your support. Make sure you like this video, share this video, and be sure to subscribe to the channel. All right, y'all. So, here on the channel, I've covered many topics before. Um, and have you ever read a story and it just leaves you wondering, like, okay, like, what are we doing over there? What is he doing over there? Like, what's really going on? I thought those people were mad with us. You mean to tell me we're going to meet with them, or he's going to meet with them and represent our country? So I want to share my screen with you about a topic. By the time you watch this video, they may have already met and they may be sharing details about exactly what's going on. But I want to talk about this story, okay? As you can see on the screen, Biden and the leader of China, okay? I should know how to pronounce his name, but I'm not quite sure, so I don't want to say it and mess it up. So I just say President Biden and the leader of China are to hold their first in-person meeting, okay? Their first in-person meeting amid strained ties. Now, we've been talking about China here on the channel and the fact that, we know, or maybe if you don't know, China and the US are number one when it comes to trade with each other, right? But, um, over a period of time, it seems like our relationship with China has become strained for different reasons. We certainly know that China, the way that the leader rules the country, his country, the country of China, the people of China, it seems to be very much different than how it is here in the United States. I don't think that can, be debated, so to speak. But I have to ask the question, why are we, or when I say we, President Biden, who, because of his position, he's representing the United States of America and we are the American people, right? It has me wondering, why are we going over there at a time like this? Okay, what is the purpose of the meeting? What is he hoping to gain or accomplish or avoid, okay, by going to meet with the leader of China? Now, in the caption of the news article, again, this comes from, I don't think I said this earlier, but this news article comes from Al Jazeera. The caption of the article says the US and China are at odds over a range of issues from Taiwan. Okay, remember what, a couple of weeks back when um, the US Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, went to Taiwan and China wasn't too happy about that. Y'all remember I covered that story? All right, so the caption says the US and China are at odds over a range of issues from Taiwan to Hong Kong, trade and Russia's invasion. I'm sorry, and Russia's invasion. Sorry about that. Let me read it again, okay? The US and China are at odds over a range of issues from Taiwan to Hong Kong, trade, and Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Okay, you all make sure you give me a thumbs up on this video. And please make sure you let me know your thoughts in the comments, okay? The article says the Chinese leader is due to meet United States President Joe Biden, face to face for the first time, okay? For the first time since Biden was elected to the White House, with the U.S. leader buoyed by a stronger than expected performance in the midterm elections, okay? I'm going to be talking about that in another video. If you check the community post, you know I had all the intentions of going live and covering it, but something happened with my video. So I will be talking about the recent midterm elections and the outcomes. So make sure you stay tuned. Check the community tab here on the channel so you can stay connected. Okay. Now, the two, okay, President Biden as well as the leader of China will meet in Bali, Indonesia on Monday. Okay. On Monday, ahead of a group of 20, okay, or G20 summit overshadowed by Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the article says, which has further strained the relationship between the US and China. Okay, so I also remember talking a few weeks back, or maybe a few months back, about how it seemed like Russia and China seemed like they had maybe come together and had some type of agreement. You all remember seeing that in the news? And so I don't know, it doesn't seem like Russia, it seems like with the way our country has been helping Ukraine, it doesn't seem like the United States and Russia are on the same side. And it appears that, based on um, recent, based on recent and past reports, it seems like maybe Russia and China had some type of agreement going on. So to me, just based on my research, what I've read and studied so far, it kind of seemed a little odd and questionable. Why would the United States be meeting with China at a time like this? Okay, but you all let me know your thoughts. How do you feel? How do you feel about President Biden traveling to meet with the leader of China? Okay. Now, the article from Al Jazeera goes on to say the two countries, meaning the United States and China, are also at odds over issues including Taiwan. Okay, we talked about how Speaker of the U.S. Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, took a trip to Taiwan. It doesn't seem like China was very happy about that. I believe that some kind of way, you all can give it more insight to this in the comments, but I believe there's some type of relationship with China and Taiwan, where maybe China claims Taiwan is part of their territory. Okay, you all can, let me know how you feel about that or clarify that. Okay, all right, let me keep reading. Okay, the two countries are also at odds, article says, over issues including Taiwan, North Korea, and trade. Okay. On the eve of his meeting with the leader of China, Biden told Asian leaders in Cambodia that lines of communication with China would remain open to prevent conflict, but that talks were expected to be tough. Okay, Biden told reporters that he had, and I quote, always had straightforward discussions, end quote, with the leader of China, and that has prevented either of them from, and I quote, miscalculations, okay, of their intentions. All right, President Biden was quoted as saying, President Biden was quoted as saying, I know him well, he knows me. We've just got to figure out where the red lines are and what are the most important things to each of us going into the next 2 years. Now, I wonder what does he mean by red lines? Are those supposed to be boundaries, like, you know, uh-oh, sorry about that, y'all. If the signal went out or the screen went out, I apologize. But hey, this is technology and the internet. Sometimes things happen. Not exactly sure why it keeps freezing, but again, thank you. Okay, let me go ahead and try to finish up. Again, thank you for your support. Okay, so what does he mean by the red? What is that? What is that all about, right? Okay, he arrived in Bali on Sunday night. Democratic Party Okay, all right, y'all. I'm back. I don't know what happened, but I'm just going to keep going. Okay, so I'll try to get through it without sharing my screen. I don't know if that has something to do with the connection, but again, I'm on talking about the fact that President Biden and the leader of China are going to hold their first in-person meeting amid strained ties. Okay, thank you all so much for your support. Listen, the article, as I was reading, the article says that Biden arrived in Bali on Sunday night as his Democratic Party retained their control of the Senate after performing better than expected, the article says, in the midterm elections. Okay. The leader of China, who the article says has secured an unprecedented third term at last month's Communist Party Congress and is China's most powerful leader since Mao Zedong. Okay, I do know how to say this person's name, is due to arrive on the Indonesian island on Monday. Okay, the article says, have received little coverage in Chinese state media. Okay, it's very hard a lot of times to find news and information from China. I don't know if they have strict regulations on their media outlets, but it's very hard to, find direct sources and confirmed sources when it comes to news out of China. Okay. Um, so the Plan Talks article says have received little coverage in Chinese state media, which have reported that the Chinese leader will also be holding bilateral meetings with Argentinian president, the French president, and the Senegalese president. Okay. Here's a quote by Al Jazeera's Patrick Falk, who is in Beijing, who said, and I quote, there are low expectations from China, and the most positive outcome is perhaps that the two sides are keeping communication channels open. Okay. Now let's talk about what has been happening. What's been going on between the US and China? The article says that relations between the US and China have deteriorated sharply in recent years over issues ranging from Hong Kong and Taiwan to the South China Sea, coercive trade practices, and US restrictions on Chinese technology. Okay. Tensions rose further after, as we talked about right here on the channel, after US Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi traveled to Taiwan in August. Okay. Beijing claims the self-ruled island as its own. Okay. That's what I was talking about. And was infuriated by the trip. Okay. Carrying out days of air and naval drills around the island after Pelosi's departure. Okay. So again, y'all, like I said, all of this went on, right? What, a couple of weeks ago, maybe a few months ago. I can't remember the exact date. Wasn't too long ago, right? All of this happened. Why would our president go over there at a time like this? Okay, why is he over there? That's my question. Monday's meeting. Okay, before that, okay, Biden and the leader of China, who have held 5 phone or video calls since Biden became president in January 2021, last met in person during the Obama administration when Biden was president. Okay, Monday's meeting, the article says, is unlikely to produce a joint statement, the White House has said, but there is hope it could lead to a more stable relationship between the world's 2 largest economies. Okay, China has indicated its focus for the talks will be U.S. action on trade in Taiwan. Okay, what do you all expect them to? I wonder what their expectations are. Okay, you all let me know your thoughts in the chat. A Chinese foreign ministry, spokesperson called on the Biden administration to, and I quote, stop politicizing, end quote, trade and embrace Beijing's claim to sovereignty over Taiwan. Okay, sounds like this is what they're expecting. How do you all feel about this? Okay, Beijing also wants Washington to lift tariffs imposed by former President Donald Trump in 2019 and to ease restrictions on Chinese access to chips and other U.S. technology. Now, this could very well be maybe one of the main topics of the meeting. Now, I do admit here I need to do some more research. I know at one time that they were saying it was a chip shortage. And from my understanding, most, if not all of the chips were manufactured in that area, maybe China, in the area of China, or a lot of them come from China. And so quite naturally, I would feel like they would want to ease those restrictions so that they can continue to um, have the same level of production, if not more. And also that's bringing in income to that area. Okay. But again, I remember before he left office, I remember President Biden, um, he had a lot of things to say about some of the Chinese companies. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but there were some restrictions put into place, and maybe you could share them in the comments. But I do remember him putting restrictions into place, even with some Chinese companies trading on the New York Stock Exchange. I believe that if for those companies, like if they were, it was something like, if I can remember, it was something like if they didn't turn over like some documents that were important, that they could face being delisted from the stock market, New York Stock Exchange, as well as some other issues that I don't know much about, so I don't want to comment on it. There were some other issues going on with some of these Chinese companies. And so I remember that President Biden did, President Trump did put some restrictions on them as well. Okay. So you all let me know your thoughts on that. The article says that Biden has left most of those in place and added curbs on access to technology that U.S. officials say can be used in weapons development. Okay. And if you know why, I would like to ask the question. I'm not saying he was right or wrong, but why do you feel, or why did President Trump put those restrictions in place on those Chinese businesses or organizations? Okay. You all let me know your thoughts. Was he in some way trying to protect the American people? Did he see something coming that many people may not have been aware of? Let me know your thoughts on that. Okay. All right. Let me get back to my place in the article. Let's see. Okay. All right. Let me keep going here. Okay. So again, the Chinese foreign minister also said this, and I quote, the United States needs to stop politicizing, weaponizing, and ideologizing, he said, trade issues. He said at a briefing. Biden is also likely, the article says, to urge Beijing to take a more assertive approach to Russia's war in Ukraine. Okay, so again, Here we go, talking about this, right? The Chinese leader, the article says, has largely refrained from public criticism of the Russian president's actions, with Beijing abstaining in key United Nations vote. Okay, hold on 1 second, y'all, because as I'm doing this video, I also have something in the oven. Let me take care of that. Hold on just a minute, y'all. Just give me a few seconds. Make sure that you like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel. Okay, hold on 1 second, y'all. All right, this is what you call multitasking. Okay, multitasking. That's it, y'all. All right, so let me keep going. You all, please let me know your thoughts in the comments on this. Here is a quote by the U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, who had this to say: "We believe, and I quote, we believe that, of course, every country in the world should do more to prevail upon Russia." This is what his quote is: "especially those who have relationships with Russia, to end this war and leave Ukraine." Okay. Officials, the article goes on to say that officials say Biden will also urge China to rein in its ally, North Korea, after this year's unprecedented number of missile tests and expectations that I guess the leader of North Korea might soon carry out its seventh nuclear test. Okay. And they go on to talk about that. Here's a quote where someone said that although there's little chance the Biden meeting with the leader of China during the G20 will immediately increase cooperation, the framework for dealing with the leader of North Korea should not be, and I quote, Cold War 2.0, which I'll think about that, but rather a multilateral defense of the international order. Okay, the G20 summit will formally open, the article says, on Tuesday. Excuse me, it is only the leader of China's second foreign trip since the pandemic first emerged in the central city of Wuhan nearly 3 years ago. First overseas visit since the outbreak of the pandemic was a September summit with Putin and leaders from Central Asia. However, the article concludes, he did not attend a dinner or photo opportunity where Putin and others wore no mask. Okay. I don't know, maybe that was his decision. Okay. So you all let me know your thoughts. Again, why is he going over there? Okay. Why is our president going over there? Instead of going over there, should he be meeting with others about something else? Should he be meeting with leaders here in our own country? What about inflation? What are we going to do about inflation? What about the, natural gas shortage? What about diesel shortage? Okay, hello. I'm going to be talking about all of this on the channel this week, bring you all updates. I know that the president, he has leaders with other leaders of the different nations, but we have a lot going on right here on our own home front. Should he be meeting with, let's say, business leaders, leaders in the transportation industry, food industry? Should he, rather than going overseas now, meeting with the leaders overseas, should he stay at home, meet with those in our country who play a very essential role in, like I said, the food industry, transportation, shipping, and those who are facing, natural disasters and things like that here on our home front? Should he just stay home, stay here in the United States, rather, when I say home, and meet with, business leaders, different people, so that we can correct things needed in our own country? Is this meeting even necessary? Now, I'm not saying it is or is not. I'm just asking the question. But, I know that there are a lot of things going on right here on our own front, on our own. I know there are a lot of things going on right here on our home front. Should he rather stay here, meet with our leaders, leaders in the different industries and help get our country back on the right track. I don't know, y'all. I'm just asking questions, but I definitely want to know your thoughts. So again, uh, I'm asking a question. Why is he over there with everything going on? Their country getting upset that the U.S. Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, went to Taiwan. And also the fact that it appears that they may have sided with Russia. You know, is this a meeting that our president should have taken? I don't know. It seems like, he's also going to be advocating for the alleged war to end in Russia. Is that something that we should even be concerned with as a country because of, you know, um, everything that's going on in our own country? I don't know. You know how sometimes it's like, I'm not saying that I don't believe that people need help, but sometimes, you have to take care of your own home first before you try to help others, or help your home front as at the same time that you're helping others as well. But by all means, don't forget about helping the American people. Okay, so you all let me know your thoughts in the comments. Again, I want to say thank you all so much for supporting the channel. Thank you for working through with me. Um, Thank you for working with me, rather, through all of the technical difficulties in the video. I hope that that did not take away from the message here, but I appreciate your support so much. All right, y'all, take care, and I'll see you in the next video right here on Monday Morning Manna.